So you sat at the DAW, you made an 8-bar loop, and then what? Whether you're a producer that wants to work with other artists or you're just an artist that wants to self-produce, I highly, highly recommend getting into the habit of completing songs. Don't get stuck making 8-bar loops all the time. If what the skill that you want to get better at is finishing songs, then definitely take a crack at that as often as you can. Even if you yourself aren't the top liner and your goal is to make beats that other artists will then put words to, it's good to get in the habit of getting the beat as close to a song as possible. So here are the 5 steps that I take once I have my 8-bar loop to take it into complete song territory. Step 0, right? We have our 8-bar loop. This is the 8-bar loop that I'm working with right now. This is a sort of electro clash, hyper pop, Two Hollis Frost Children type of thing. In fact, I actually used a Frost Children sample for the bass. We've got kick, snare, some hats, bass. That's the Frost Children sample. I added a sub. And this little 8-bit kind of ARP situation. And also, side note, I did do the sound design for this little ARP situation here. There's going to be a separate video talking about all the sound design that I did on this track. If that's something you're interested in, check it out. It's linked probably up here somewhere and in the description. So step 1. Build out your sections. Take the elements you have, combine them in different ways to create different sections of your song. So here's what I've done. Created a little intro using just the bass that's kind of like chopped up to be a simpler version of the bass, and then that ARP. Then verse 1, I've got only the bass, kick, and snare, and I even brought in the snare a little bit later, so we have another moment where the texture changes a little bit. For the chorus, this is a very like EDM inspired genre. So I kind of went for a build drop format. We have a first half of the chorus where it's just hats and bass and the ARP. And then for the drop, we bring in kick and snare. So it gets like really big and explosive. And then this can be like our drop. And then just kind of duplicated that whole structure over to create like a verse 2 and a second like chorus, and duplicated this drop moment so it's twice as long, and we just have another opportunity for the song to get even bigger and like on a super powerful note. The only other difference aside from that is like for this second verse, I brought in like a sparser version of the hats halfway through verse 2, just so we have something a little bit higher energy. Pop music, I like to keep it kind of growing over time. You want to feel like you're moving forward. So second verse is going to be a little more powerful than first. The pro tip though that I can give you is use these locators. They are there to help you. They're your friend. It's nice to be able to see at a glance what your track is, where you're going with it. Overall, having the structure of the track early on, to me personally, is just such a good way to know where I'm going. I'm like, okay, no, this is the end goal. I just have to flesh this out. You have your sections built out, and then step 2 is top line. If you yourself are the top liner, I recommend doing the top line ASAP. As soon as I have an instrumental like the one we already have so far, where I can get a vibe of the song, that's when I like to do the vocals and get as final of a take as I can. As you're producing the track, it is really helpful to have the finalized vocals with their effects and everything, because it'll dictate how you produce the track. For example, here I have a super trashy, distorted vocal. Obviously, I mean, this is electro clash. It's got to be kind of gnarly. But that takes up so much space in the track. That's filling up the frequency spectrum so much. It's going to dictate how I layer in elements. So get that vocal in as early as possible, but while still giving yourself something to work with. And here is sort of what I did. Saw you bump the residue on your nostril. Told myself this girl said never do that, but I would. Drinking like I want to see the hospital. I wonder if you'd visit if you knew I wasn't good. I did make a video last week talking about some tips if you are feeling a little stuck with lyrics, so go check that out if that's interesting to you. If you are just making the instrumental, I still recommend thinking about it, trying to imagine it as completely as you can. So another pro tip, sometimes it can be good to even put in an element into the track that is acting as a sort of placeholder for the voice, be it like a synth or a guitar, something that might be a top line. It doesn't have to be the final one, but this does two things. First of all, now when you're producing the track, you are mindful that something will kind of be in this frequency range and you're more likely to steer clear of it. And two, when you hand this over to an artist so that they can work with it, it starts to give them ideas. It feels like a track that has potential. Definitely mix it down. Don't make it tacky. Okay, we got our track out of Beatland, but now we are stuck in Demoville and we want to get to Song City. We want this to feel like a fully realized song. And to me, that is steps 3 and 4. Step 3 is further arranging. The listener wants the texture to change. The song will start to feel stagnant as far as the elements that are present stay the same. So you want to shake it up, even if it's a little bit, to liven up the progression of the track and make it feel like it's moving, it's breathing, it's a living thing, it's a story that's going somewhere and not just like sound, you know? So we're going to add in a couple strategic, well thought out elements. Now this is the part where we have to be very mindful, very intentional. And my number one advice to you is to think about frequency ranges that aren't being used in that part where you feel like you need to add something and target that. For example, this first verse was feeling a little boring. It's kind of on the long side, right? It'd be nice, it'd be refreshing if something changed halfway through. Upon listening to it, it feels like that low mid range might be available to add a little something to, just to layer over the bass that's going to stay out of the way of the vocal, but still keep it very contained. I'm not trying to make this super big and explosive because it's just the verse. We haven't hit the chorus yet. So I settled on this little stutter synth. Also, sound design of that will be in the sound design video. Check that out. This is her on her own. So going from first part of the verse into second part of the verse, this is what it does. I wonder if you'd visit if you knew I wasn't good. Saw him in a backwards hat and tap. God save me, I think I heard him say GTL ironically. And the nice thing is you can recycle this and use it in different ways. That very same sound is featured in the second verse, except this time we start the verse with it. Because again, we're trying to raise the energy level gradually. Then second half of the second verse, same sound, but now it's an octave higher. And then I bring it back in that last final drop to add another layer to make it feel big. And this time it's both octaves layered at the same time. Also, these are panned, so it gives it a nice fullness. And also, as part of that final chorus, I wanted something to come in and fill out that high end. This is the big finale. This is that last drop. So we use the super saw synth, also panned on either side. This is them on their own. Side chain to the kick. And in the context of the track. That super saw also featured in that sound design video, so go check it out. Another, I think, under discussed tool that can help you sort of evolve the texture is harmonies for the vocals. It's such a nice way to fill out the track a little more that tends to be very unintrusive to the other elements you have. So for example, in the chorus, the buildup doesn't have a harmony, but the drop does. And so that also helps it feel a lot bigger. 'Cause you're only young once, only young once, only young once, gotta have my miserable fun. Don't know why I wanna stay, I should really go. Next up is step 4. And like I mentioned, step 3 and 4 are really where the magic happens. And step 4 is something I talk about in damn near every video because I think it is genuinely that important. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that the next word out of my mouth will be transitions. Transitions, they're so important. Okay. What do I mean by transitions? It's really anything that either lets the listener know a change is coming or something once that change has happened that's like, the change is here. Think any combination of like cutting elements before the downbeat of a new section, adding a riser that leads into the new section, a crash on the downbeat, automating things like reverb, delay, any effects, you know? I like especially using drums as a little forewarning, something's about to change. Drums are like the core of the track, so any little shift in it is just enough to subconsciously tell the listener like, whoops, things are changing, something's about to happen. There is unrest in the air. Even a hat roll here, a snare fill there, all of that. Let's look at a couple of the transitions that I used in the track. Firstly, from the intro, like this is a very everything in the kitchen sync situation. We have automated the cutoff of a low pass auto filter, the reverb, and the delay of all the tonals. Also created a little white noise with just an operator here and automated the cutoff frequency on the filter for that, and threw in this little glitchy beepy thing right at the end of the section that I actually used a few times throughout the track, also like right at the end of the song, so it becomes a bit of a theme throughout. And we get this. From the chorus build into that chorus drop, we have perhaps the most dramatic transition of the whole song, which makes sense. We're going into the last drop of the whole track. We have our usual little beep, and then we like delay the drop. We do a little fake out moment. So everything comes in one beat late, and that's just enough to really rock our world. And we throw in a crash, and it's a big moment.
It's only young ones, gotta have my miserable fun. Don't know why I wanna stay, I should really go.
Step 5 is just to add a little zhuzh, just some ear candy wherever you see fit. For example, there's this moment in the verse where the vocals are kind of quiet for a little bit, so I put a fun little bass chop situation. I got real crazy with it. Like we have a telephone vocal kind of EQ situation that's automating like in and out, and then like delay galore. It's getting real wild. These chops have like transposition modulation, so they're bending, everything's going real crazy. Here's what that sounds like. Another little ear candy thing can be like vocal effects. At the end of like the chorus build up section, I put a little telephone EQ moment.
Cause you're only young ones, only young ones, only young ones. Gotta have my miserable fun.
And that's it. And that's how you end up with a full pop song out of an 8-bar loop that you made one day. I'm going to play it all the way through. You're also welcome to go ahead and listen to it on SoundCloud. It'll be uploaded here to YouTube as well. It's a little video linked obviously in the description and probably here.
Up and down like a yo-yo, like a yo-yo. Cause you're only young once, only young once, only young once. Gotta have my miserable fun. Don't know why I wanna stay, I should really go. Yeah, I'm up and down like a yo-yo, like a yo-yo. Cause you're only young once, only young once, only young once. Gotta have my miserable fun. I wanna stay, I should really go, go, go up and down from the sky.
So that is the song. It's called Yo-Yo. Feel free to go give it love and check it out or whatever. If you liked it, share it with your friends. I don't know, whatever it is that the kids are doing these days when they like something. I make a song every week and I make like a video to go with that song where I explain something about making music. So tune in if you like that sort of thing, especially if you're into like fully realized shiny little pop songs. Then subscribe and like this video so that you get more of it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you sticking around, and all the best to you.